So, return to some horror. You know what's funny? There's like 2 scary movies out that I really want to see right now that I still have not seen. Freaking Midsummer, which not really scary, it just seems more like a thriller. And also the Scary Story movie that came out about the old book. I still have not seen those 2 yet. I cannot wait to freaking go see, especially Scary Story. But anyway, okay, I kept seeing you guys on my stream, also even on my actual videos about watch Wansee Entertainment. My bad if I bombed that. I'm sorry, I'm new to your channel, my guy. But you guys kept telling me to watch 9 animated horror stories. I'm gonna do 28 because it's a lot more. Even though I'm not gonna finish them all, we're gonna break this up into parts. And yes, I know I have it bad at completing stuff. We are going to finish this, okay? We're gonna do this 28 horror stories animated compilation of March to July. That way we can get them all, because that means that at least I think the 9 one is gonna also be in here as well. So what we'll do is we'll break this down to probably about 15-20 minute videos, whatever, and then we'll go and finish that way. But yeah, if you want to check out the original video, link to the description, link to the English. Okay, you get that. Dang it. I ain't in the water. True April Fool's horror story animated.
It was April 1st, 2001. I was at home watching TV when I heard a big bang on my back door. I didn't know who or what it was.
Do you live with anybody?
Thought it was a raccoon or something, so I kept watching TV. I will never forget what I heard. Someone whispered, "I am coming for you." I turned to see who it was, but no one was there. I went outside and yelled, "Who's there?" I went back inside, and then I saw it.
Could you let it in?
A man with a white rabbit mask holding a kitchen knife. I ran to the kitchen and grabbed a knife and turned on the light. The guy took off his mask,
It's this boy.
and it was my friend.
I knew it, what, man?
I was relieved, and he yelled, "April Fools!"
April Fool's, I
I asked
smacked
how
your
he
damn teeth
managed
out
to
your
get so
mouth.
far when he whispered in my ear. He looked confused.
He didn't.
To my surprise, he said, "I never whispered in your ear."
Somebody in here, good thing you hear
That's
that.
when I knew something was in my house. I told Fred to hide and call the cops.
No,
When
hide,
the
we
cops got
together.
there, they saw a man with long black hair robbing stuff from my house. He had a pistol and some pocket knives. The cops told me he had broke out of prison a couple days before the incident.
Oh! Don't do that. The guy was eating. He crazy.
Back then, my brother and I used to play with a lot of guns, especially water
I'm about to
guns.
say, real good. He's about to shoot his little
One
brother.
night, we got our flashlights and pretended we were the police. It was around 10 p.m. We were in the backyard with my brother's friend playing when we saw a tall black guy. We were just staring at him. I don't know who he was or why he was there.
I'd look like, yo.
Then he suddenly said, "Hey, can I play with you?"
No.
"Bitch, please," my brother said. Then the tall guy seemed to go into a strange position and smiled at us creepily. I was so scared, so I aimed my gun at the guy when my flashlight lit up the face of the man. I will never forget what I saw. There was a big X on the middle of his forehead, and the guy was eating a piece of glass.
Yeah, he don't feel pain.
Literally eating it and bleeding. We didn't know what to do while we ran back into the house. My brother's friend jumped outside the fence and he didn't come back. We were standing near the window and my brother told me to call Mom and Dad.
You should have been did that.
When I called my mom, I heard a loud smash coming from the big window on the front door. My brother quickly grabbed my shirt and dragged me upstairs. At that moment, I couldn't talk to my mom because then I would make a sound. We stayed silent for about 20 seconds. Then we heard a footstep near my side. I was about to tilt my head to take a look when I suddenly heard a gun get reloaded. My brother quickly punched
that's what I'm talking about.
I ran so fast.
Now you should stump them out.
We had to live. We were almost to the door when we heard a gunshot. We quickly ran to the nearest neighborhood and told someone what happened.
Hope he shot
We
himself.
called Mom and Dad and also dialed 911.
Thank you.
When the police came to our house, they found fresh blood trails from the living room to the bathroom. There, they found the guy bleeding to death.
Good.
As if the guy wanted us to watch him commit suicide or possibly kill us. Well, I don't know, but that was some serious madhouse shit, and I would never, ever forget what happened.
Man, if I just by my face, they face cut up and they eating glass. You know he don't feel no pain.
I was 11 years old at the time. It was a horrible event. I lived in Texas, but my family decided to go to California during the summer of 2015. It wasn't going to be a long time, So my family of 6, including me, stayed at my aunt's house.
She crazy.
One night, my parents went to a party, and both of my brothers and I didn't want to go, so we stayed behind. My aunt's daughter stayed with us too. It was around 6 p.m. My parents said they were coming back around 2 a.m.
Oh, they
Hearing that gave me
parlay.
goosebumps, since we were staying at a 2-story house. I've always been scared of 2-story houses.
Yeah, I don't like
for
big
this
houses
reason.
either. Well, 2-story ain't big.
As soon as our parents left, we all decided to eat snacks. Well, we wanted to, but there weren't any. My cousin
got an
asked
auntie
us
like
if
that,
we
don't
wanted to go to the store
don't
with
keep
her.
nothing in the house.
Since she was already
Hate going over there.
19, she could drive by herself. My brother said yes, but I told him I do want snacks, but I don't want to go. I thought that my brothers would want to stay behind too, since they were just 2 years older than me. But
Only
instead,
little, bro.
they just said, okay. They all left without me. I was all alone.
It's about to go left.
15 minutes in, I was sitting on the couch playing on my iPad. Suddenly, I heard a sound coming from upstairs. I decided to
Oh, there's
check what
Auntie.
it was, but as soon as I started to go up the stairs, a glass cup fell down the stairs.
Just go.
I ran to my uncle's room and hid inside the closet.
Uncle dead.
After 2 minutes of hiding, the lights in the room started flashing. I could see it from the crack under the door. I wanted to text my brother,
Even
but I
though-
left the iPad on the couch. Soon after, I heard another sound from upstairs. Well, that's how I knew that whatever was doing all the scary stuff was definitely upstairs.
So you can go for the iPad.
I decided to run out of the house.
Oh, good.
And then try to ask the next door neighbors to let me into their house for a bit. But before I could,
Oh, he didn't make it.
I checked the upstairs window when I got outside, and I saw a figure in one of the rooms. It was a clear image since it was barely 7 p.m. The figure was definitely the creepiest thing I've ever seen in my life. I saw a woman.
Man, I wouldn't
with
have
a
went back
black
in that
dress.
house for nothing.
She was pale and had dark eyes. It was as if she accidentally messed up her makeup and got black makeup all around her eyes. She also looked kind of like a nun. I stood there,
For what?
watching her for like 10 seconds. And then I saw a car driving in from the side. I moved near the
Right to the
garage and the car came closer. It
I'd
parked.
have ran jumped on the car. Ah, come on, you gotta be in the car. Let me in the car. We gotta go. But what you gotta do though when you see, like, I always feel like this when I watch scary movies. My bad for stopping. Like, let's say if, okay, boom, I'm looking at you, you the monster, whatever, right? Because right now you dumb, ugly, you look just like a monster. Like, I'm not even, all right, anyway, look, okay, let's say I'm looking at you, boom. All right, the monster's right there. I'm looking, we got eye contact. Usually in movies or like how some scary stuff work, when you got eye contact with the monster, they're just in there looking at you. So what you can do is, you can still be running back, but keeping your eye on, like, no, you better disappear on me, clown. That way you can be watching them, but sometimes you still going though, but you gotta keep your eye on them. Like, man, I'd have ran in the car while sitting there, because if you look away, you run away, and you be like, look, they gone. When you like, if I rent to the car, like, yo, look, it's behind that window. You gonna look up, and that person's not gonna be there. Yeah, keep your eye on them. That way you can see them actually move. Like, yeah, it's definitely real. Just keep your eye on them. Then you go to the car, boom. Like, y'all look at that right there. Not
At
getting
the
me.
house. I realized
I'll
it
put
was
that
my
in.
cousin with both of my brothers. I was relieved.
I'd have jumped in that
They
car and
asked me
skirted off.
why I was outside.
'Cause you're
and I
auntie
said I
Kurt.
wanted to take a picture of the house from
Tell
outside.
the truth.
I didn't tell them the truth. They didn't realize I didn't have my iPad when I said this. Once we got inside the house, I followed them upstairs.
Man, you big crazy.
I was obviously behind them since I was scared.
I'm in the middle.
Nothing happened the rest of the day until that night. It was 10 p.m.
If you slept by
It
yourself,
was raining. I just wanted to see the thunder, so I moved the curtains to
and
look
she
out the
outside
window.
now.
A bit of light came in because of the lightning. And that's
A
when
reflection.
I saw it again. The figure was in the neighbor's parkway, just staring at the house. I will never forget that night, no matter how hard I try. Sometimes, while I'm having fun, I'll stop and remember, and the thought always ruins my day.
I think it's like
I
a.
thought that the woman from that night might always be out there looking for me.
I think that's one of those situations, you know, where it's like, it's in your head, like, you know, like kind of like a paranormal activity. Like, it's not the house that's haunted. It's you. Like, it's something haunting you, because it seems like one of the things where it's like it's in his head. It's all in his head. Or even if it is something like paranormal, whatever, it's something that's Then not everybody's gonna see. It's just you like attached to you type situation. Because why the heck would that mo be in the house and then outside the house? Unless it was somebody who broke in and then they happened to get out when your people came back and y'all went in the house and was like, all right, we calm now. Unless it was like actually somebody at that point. But other than that, yeah, you may just, it may be a GG for you, my guy. Nope. I like these so far. True cottage horror story animated.
This event happened when I was around 13 years old. I was going on a family road trip with my parents and siblings.
Jesus, probably here.
My brother was 16 at the time and my half-sister was 21. I don't completely remember where we were going or where we stayed since it was almost 15 years ago. All I remember was that we rented a cottage in a small village. Next to the village was a lot of mountains surrounding the perimeter, and there were probably only 20 houses in the village. Next to the cottage was a small lake that was big enough to kayak in.
Jason.
And to the right of the little lake was a small shed.
Oh, no. Don't go in there.
The shed was very old, and its ceiling had been poorly repaired. There was ivy growing all over it. Although this may not seem scary, the door was wide open, and the place we were staying at was all fenced off with a really high fence.
Oh, good. Yep, we good.
This probably meant that no one would be able to come into
y'all.
our property. Later that same day, my brother and I decided to check it out since we had nothing else to do other than swim in the lake before dinner.
From inside the gate?
Bear in mind, this happened in the winter, meaning it would get dark much earlier than in the summer. We walked up towards the shed, and as we walked towards
Why would you do that at night? You could have done that during the day. Let me stop hollering, getting mad.
We realized that a source of light was shining through the
Cause somebody in there.
It didn't seem like it was a normal ceiling light, but was almost like a torch. We saw the light slowly move around in between the cracks of the shed.
Cause now it's looking at you.
Then, in one sudden motion, the light randomly pointed.
Burnt out.
My brother and I were petrified by the situation. We both looked at each other with blank expressions. Our parents were in the lounge watching TV, so they wouldn't be able to hear us at all if we called out for help.
You'd have heard me.
I don't like to be cliche, but my big brother is a very strong person, emotionally, physically, and mentally.
Don't like it to me.
So I was surprised when I saw his lower lip tremble out of the corner of my eye. I thought he was going to protect me by telling me what to do, but instead, he just stood there, frozen.
Does he want no smoke neither?
With a petrified face as the bright light blinded us through the gaps between the walls of the shed for what felt like an eternity. Suddenly, the light switched off. A small sense of relief hit me as the light turned off, but I was still scared for my life. Because the light was shining on our faces for so long, our eyes were not used to the dark. When we tried to escape by running in the opposite direction towards the cottage, we couldn't see where we were going.
Running and screaming.
Then, as if the situation couldn't get any worse, we heard a loud shuffling sound coming from the shed. We could hear the sound starting to
there you go, Wendy's.
We ran silently towards the cottage. The sound was getting louder and louder. Soon after, I could just make out a hollow voice coming from behind us. I hesitantly looked behind me.
What?
To my horror, I saw a middle-aged man standing next to the shed with a flashlight in his hand.
Oh, we'll whoop him!
His hands were covered in what looked like blood, and his hair was greasy as if he never showered once in his life. He had a long beard that looked tangled and disgusting. In a faint voice, he said, "Come here, child.
Nah.
I have many toys in here.
I'm good.
Do you want to play some games with me?" He said this with
a
creepy smile, eyes wide open without blinking. He looked as if he was talking to me. I instantly screamed as loud as I could, and my brother grabbed my hand with dear life as we sprinted back into the cottage. We told our parents what happened,
we gotta get out this
my brother and sister with tearful eyes. They didn't believe us at first because they were so shocked by the situation and so confused. But when they saw the monstrous man's face pressed up against the window with a bloody butcher's knife in his hand, they screamed in horror and immediately called the police. The police were nearby since it was a small town, but as the sirens came, we saw the man run back to his shed, and unfortunately, they never caught him.
It don't matter, because that'd have been the end. I'm gone.
They asked us what he looked like and what he said to us. The police told us that a girl that looked similar to me and was roughly the same age as me was murdered last month because of that man we saw from the shed.
What?
I can't imagine what would have happened if we
See,
stayed
I don't
in a
like
busy
stuff like
town
that
that
with a
weekend,
kid.
or if the police didn't make it in time. I am now scared to go near sheds after that incident, and I will never be the same. A
Y'all still live
situation
right
like
there?
this has not happened since, but I really hope that man is either caught or is being chased by the police, because those few moments scarred me for life.
She didn't say this is a place they go visit, right? They still let me go back and make sure I ain't tripping. So she said they was going on a family road trip. If we go on a road trip, I got my daughter with me and my son. They almost get killed. And we even see the killer, and the police tell us, yeah, he just killed a little girl that looked just like your little girl last month. You telling me y'all still went there after that? And the guy wasn't caught? If anything, even if I would have went again, my whole family would have been strapped up. Like, whole family, like, nah. And don't nobody go outside this cage. We brought the pit bulls with us. They running around the cage. And we got the guns. He's an old man with a knife. Alright, don't get me wrong. If he get close, he probably gonna stab you. Yeah, to hurt. But if you an old man with a knife. Meaning we gonna fight. If you ain't got a gun, I'll be a little scared if you got a knife. But if you got a knife, I'm in a gun, then I'm big scared. Because then you got range. You can just sit down the street, bang me, whatever. But you got a knife, you gotta get close. Or you better have some good ninja throwing aim. Because if not, if I see you, then I'm just gonna take off.
Those
I mean take off as in take off
scarred
shooting.
me for life.
Hey. About my face, boy. Someone tried to break into the house.
I am a 16-year-old girl. Years ago, in the summer, I left my place in the city to visit my aunt and uncle's house in the suburbs of New Jersey. I mainly went to hang out with my cousin. Let's call her Kate. My cousin and I are 3 years apart.
I don't trust Kate.
My aunt and uncle both worked in Manhattan. One day, my aunt and uncle decided to attend a party after work. During the day, Kate and I went down to the street to her friend's house because they had a pool. We spent all day swimming. When we walked back to her house, it was around 4 p.m. It was still sunny out. All of a sudden, Kate's phone stopped working. Nothing to worry about. I still had mine and it was
Like,
brand
stop working,
new.
just like completely shut
We
off.
spent
or
another hour
no
outside
service or
and
what?
figured it was time to call my aunt to tell her we
Where's
were
the working?
okay. On the steps, I pulled my phone out, but it was not working. We took the battery out, put it back in, but still nothing. With no way to call my aunt, we just went inside the house. It was maybe 5 p.m. Kate's older sister, Julie, a high schooler, was spending the night at her friend's house, so we were all alone. In the living room, we put the two sofas together as we normally did when I slept over. We were both tired and ready to sleep. We had been left alone like this a lot of times, so it didn't faze us. The house is big
Man,
and
big
gets
house
pitch
scare
black.
me.
All of a sudden, we heard a big bang that sounded like brass or metal coming from across the hall. We got up and checked Kate's room. Nothing had fallen. We
Ain't no
went
house
back to the
phone?
living room to sleep. Maybe 2 hours later, we heard another bang coming from the room.
Don't go out the door. Act like you're
We
in Run out the
checked
front door.
again. Nothing had
Yes, it is.
fallen.
Down moved.
This time, we were a little unnerved. We went back but stayed up, then
Arrow out
shortly
the front
heard
door.
a bang a third time coming from the same room. We were nervous. We went on opposite sides of the hallway and walked in the room, this time like a little SWAT team. Everything was
Girl, that
intact.
dial moved like 3 times.
We couldn't sleep after. We stayed up on the sofas and saw a shadow coming from the basement. The basement had no
What kind of
door.
house?
It was just open. No one was home yet. We called out for Kate's parents, and if they were home, they would have said something. Their driveway was empty. Their car wasn't there. We were terrified.
So it's like a human or is it like a
Kate and I
demon?
grabbed knives, and we just stayed down on the kitchen floor. Nothing happened. After another hour, we went back to the sofas. We
If
woke
I'm
up
hearing noises and I see a figure, I'm not going back to. Oh my God, let me.
to the sound of a girl screaming, "Help me!" We sprang up and heard someone banging
sorry,
on the
but you
door,
can't get
but
in
we were
here.
too
I'm
petrified
sorry.
because we saw another shadow next to the shadow from earlier. Terrified, we just made sure the door was locked and went back to the sofa. After 30 minutes, we were woken up again, but this time
How tired do you have to be to go to sleep after this happened over and over and over and over. You gotta be dummy tired, bro. Like, oh my God, that ghost is trying to kill me, but yo, I'm about to sleep. Oh my God, it happened again. This little girl trying to get out. Somebody trying to kill her, but I'm about to go to sleep. Oh my God, we saw like 3 figures this time in the basement, but I'm tired. How tired do you have to be? Freaking clown.
Ambulance lights coming through from the living room window.
I wouldn't have been after the
We were
first
exhausted
one.
and went back to sleep.
This girl
Sometime
tired.
During the early morning, Kate's parents came home. We were sleeping and heard a huge bang coming from Kate's room.
Go to sleep.
This time, my uncle came up from the basement,
he go to sleep?
which is where my aunt and uncle's room was. He was holding one of his metal bats. He was ready to protect us. With my uncle in front of us, we all went into the room. Nothing was on the ground and nothing had fallen. We knew we weren't crazy because even Kate's parents heard
Yeah,
it.
but I ain't come back here no more.
We never could explain what happened that night.
Back on that bus away
The
from New
next
Jersey.
morning, both Kate and my phone started working.
Big messages.
After that day, I hated going
Yep,
to their
we'll do it there
house.
ever again.
I believe their house is haunted. Either that
Said
or
the
someone was
Dalby?
trying to come inside because they knew their car wasn't in the driveway and they thought they could break in.
That's funny because I even asked when I started, I was like, is it actually human or is it like a demon? So regardless though, like them going to sleep, bro, it kind of, I'm sorry, okay, it kind of make it unbelievable, that one at least, because I'm sorry, I don't care how stupid you are. No one's, if you're in your house right now, bam, you heard the noise in the closet, you're like, what the, you probably, first you probably like, all right, maybe I'm tripping, heard some noise, boom, 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 check it out, whatever. Yeah, you probably like sleep first time. Boom, hear it again. You're like, all right, bro, something legit going on. You're gonna be up like, bro, all right, I don't know what's happening. You're not just gonna go back to sleep. Then after that, you hear, boom, a third one. Then at that point, you start seeing figures. At that point, you are not going to sleep. Trust me, you will not go to sleep. This girl, her and her cousin would sleep like 8 times, my guy. You know, anyway, for the video, YouTube, I'm going to wrap up the video here. If you guys enjoyed the video, don't forget to like, comment, share, guys. Amazing, you guys are awesome. These stories, some of these are peeing me off, but we gonna finish these. You know, don't forget to like, comment, share, guys. Amazing, guys are awesome. But till next time, buddies, Charlie's out.